Good evening, everyone. It's November 16th, 2023, and yesterday I had mentioned that I was actually looking for a prior day's low break, and I thought we'd get a red session. I thought the most we'd get into is kind of settlement lows over here, that Tuesday CPI day low. Didn't really think we'd get much more than that. However, I ended up being kind of half right. We did take out a prior day's low. However, we did have a statistically anomalous session by breaking both the overnight low and the high. We were unable to get over what's kind of become an inflection point. Perhaps we can even just bring this chart down to a 30-minute. This is this right here. This wasn't Tuesday's high of the day, but that was the afternoon high. You can see it's been some sort of clear level ever since. That's about 43.25 roughly on the ES. That's roughly where yesterday's point of control was. And that ended up being kind of the major pivot of this area. And moving forward, I think that's going to be how I'm looking at it. So anyway, we were unable to put in a red session. We did get a prior day's low break, so that was nice to see. What kind of MGI, market-generated information, do you get out of that? Well, like I'd mentioned before, I think this was the second previous day's low break in, that must be 15 sessions now. And for the NASDAQ, that's the second previous day low break in 16 sessions, perhaps, right? Ever since here, that was the last time, right? We got one prior day's low break on this day, and then one today. To me, the fact that we broke a prior day's low and we couldn't really get any sort of low close or selling action after that, that's not very good for the bears. I'll put it that way. That was kind of the opening for a move lower. I wanted to see, maybe a close below the prior day's low, maybe some sort of move down to around, this is roughly 43.85 to 95, something like that. We couldn't even hit double O's. The low of the day came in at 01.75 on the ES. So for tomorrow, here's what I'm thinking. Right now, let's pull this up. Get rid of all the indicators and stuff. There we go. It's a plain 30-minute chart. Right now, Globex has already traded above the prior day's high. This doesn't count. This is afterwards, right? Same with this 30-minute bar. There's the high, 26. We've already traded above there. We're holding above value area high. The NASDAQ, I think, is fairly similar. We're at 30-minute. There we go. Globex hasn't peaked above the highs yet, but, maybe in a second here. If we get an open above yesterday's high, a gap up, in other words, I don't think I want to be fading this thing. If we gap up, I imagine we will not visit the overnight low, and instead we'll be looking to take out the overnight high, the Wednesday RTH high, 977 or whatever that is, on the NASDAQ, on the ES, that 37-ish number. I think we take out these external trading hours highs, and I think we come into, 43.50-ish kind of deal, something like that, maybe even higher. Tomorrow is options expiry. I'm aware of that, but again, I don't think we're going to have a chop session. We've had 2 days in a row now. Wednesday and Thursday both were really small ranges, 25-point range or something like that on the futures. I don't really see that staying that way. I think we likely have a gap up scenario, and then we just, it's rare to get a trend day on an OPEX, but that's how it's setting up. We had a big move up, failure to get any sort of selling getting going, any continuation, any sort of notable selling. Now we're coming right back to the highs, and it looks like we're going to gap up. And to me, that means we just fucked over anyone who was short here, and it's just going to keep on drifting upwards. You pull out a big chart, I don't know, something like this, 453. Sure. There's a gap up here, by the way. Anyway, hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. Have a great night. Trade safe.